Minister, at its core, this bill is about something very simple. It's about supporting people to work to live, not just to live to work. It's about quality of life. And despite what government spokespersons might imply, workers in Ireland currently have no right to flexible or remote work. They have only a right to ask and a right to be refused. Now, many employers are very generous. Many workplaces have very sustainable accommodations made with hybrid working, with remote working, but some have been unreasonable. And we in the Labour movement are proud to stand for workers' rights, not workers' incentives, not employers' philanthropy or leniency, rights for workers. We're proud to be the party of the trade union movement that has delivered on workers' rights for workers on low pay through mechanisms like the Low Pay Commission, on rights for freelancers through our successful legislation on collective bargaining for freelancers. But at its core, Minister, this bill is not just about workers' rights. It's also about tackling climate emissions. As Deputy Lawlor has said, all of those currently sitting in cars, in gridlock, trying to get into offices where they don't need to be productive, they are contributing to increased carbon emissions. They're contributing to our failure to reach our climate targets. And your government has been shameful on delivering on public transport, in delivering on cycling infrastructure and active travel infrastructure. One way that your government could help to deliver on reaching climate targets is through enabling workers to work from home where it is reasonably practicable to do so. And that's another core part of this bill. And this bill is also about accessible workplaces. It's about ensuring greater access to work, to working life, for those who in many cases are locked out of workplaces. And I'm thinking in particular, Minister, of people with disabilities. And we know in Ireland disabled people are very poorly represented in our workplaces. And we should be doing a great deal more to facilitate working careers for people with disabilities, for disabled persons. And one key way to do that is to facilitate flexible and remote working. And I want to also reference others, women locked out of many workplaces due to lack of access to childcare, to affordable childcare and early years education, women who disproportionately bear the burden of care at home and who are therefore in particular difficulty when it comes to being forced back into workplaces where they do not have to be physically present in order to be productive. Minister, if you're spending 2-3 hours a day in a car, and many people who've contacted me, have contacted my colleagues, are doing that currently. If you're spending 2 or 3 hours or 4 hours a day commuting to your workplace, when you know you don't have to be present in the office to be productive, then you're not only contributing to climate emissions, you're not only having a very poor work-life balance, but you're also not delivering for a government that's talking about productivity, that's talking about enterprise. We want to ensure, as a party of job creation, as a party of jobs, we want to ensure sustainable workplaces. We want to enable employers to retain skilled and high-value staff, women and men, disabled persons from all walks of life, who should be facilitated. And finally, Minister, one further thing to say. With your approach to this bill, with the sort of obstructionism we've seen on this bill, it appears that Fine Gael in particular, but the government altogether, has abandoned any pretence at a workers' rights agenda. And former Taoiseach Leo Varadkar did make some sort of rhetoric about workers' rights. But we've seen from this government the stalling of Labour's pregnancy loss leave bill, your U-turn on sick pay, and a VAT cut that took money from the pockets of taxpayers and put it in the coffers of big builders and burger barons. So your government is not taking workers' rights seriously. And here in the Labour Party, what we're trying to do is redress the balance, ensure that workers have a reasonable right to work from home, to work flexibly, and to ensure that we build sustainable workplaces and accessible workplaces for all.